Sheri's alarm blares at 6 o'clock a.m. sharp. She groggily reaches for the clock, silencing it with a firm tap. The faint morning light spills through her blinds. Her small, quiet apartment feels just as it always does. Still a little empty, but comfortable. Sheri stretches, gets up and pads into the kitchen where her cat Oliver meows impatiently, smiling and scratching Oliver's ears. All right, I'm up. Breakfast time, you little monster." Sheri pours food into Oliver's bowl, the sound of kibble hitting ceramic filling the quiet kitchen. She puts on her running shoes, ties them tight, and steps outside into the brisk morning air. The park is serene, the paths lined with trees just starting to turn their fall colours. Sheri runs her usual route, the same as every day. The air feels slightly different, though, thicker, heavier, but she shrugs it off. People jog past her, heads down, earbuds in, not a single glance her way. Softly to herself. Typical. Not like anyone notices me anyway. Sheri slows her pace as she nears the corner coffee shop, a small, charming place she stops at most mornings. Today, though, the shop is packed. A long line snakes out the door. Sheri steps on the sidewalk, taking her place at the back of the line. She cranes her neck, searching for her friend Nick, the barista who usually sneaks her coffee when it's busy. Her eyes land on him behind the counter, focused on his work. Calling softly, waving her hand. "Nick, hey, Nick!" Nick doesn't look up. She waits for a moment, but he doesn't respond. The line inches forward, but her frustration grows. This is taking forever. Forget it. Sheri turns and leaves, muttering under her breath as she steps back into the street. On her way home, Sheri spots her friend Mary across the street, walking briskly with her hands full of grocery bags. Sheri waves eagerly. "Mary, hey, over here!" Mary doesn't react. She keeps walking, her gaze fixed ahead. "She probably didn't hear me, whatever." Sheri frowns but shakes it off and heads home. Sheri tosses her keys onto the table and sighs. Her unease hasn't left her. She grabs her phone and dials her mum's number. It rings and finally her mum answers. Her voice is shaky and she's crying, through sobs. "Oh God, Sheri. Mom, it's me. What's wrong? Hello?" Her mum doesn't respond, doesn't even seem to hear her. Then the line goes dead. Sheri stares at her phone in confusion, her heart pounding. What the hell is going on? Sheri starts pacing the living room, her breath quickening. She grabs the TV remote, needing something, anything to distract herself. The TV flickers on to a breaking news report. Serious tone. Authorities are still searching for Sheri Adams, who was reported missing a week ago. If anyone has any information. The screen cuts to Sheri's photo, her face smiling back at her. The remote slips from her hand and clatters to the floor. What? No, that's not right. I'm right here. Her chest tightens. Panic sets in. She stumbles toward the window, throwing it open and leaning out. I'm here! I'm right here! Someone tell them I'm here! No one responds. Sheri grabs her coat and bolts out of the apartment. Sheri runs into the middle of the street, spinning in circles, screaming. I'm not missing. I'm right here. Look at me. A car turns the corner, its headlights blinding. It barrels toward her, honking wildly. Sheri freezes, her arms raised to shield herself. The car doesn't stop, it passes through her. She gasps, stumbling backward, her hands frantically patting her body. No. No. Sheri stares at the car as it disappears down the street, tears streaming down her face. Slowly, she walks back to her apartment, her mind racing. Sheri sinks into the couch, staring blankly at the wall. Her breathing slows as the pieces begin to fall into place. Voice shaking. Nick didn't see me. Mary didn't hear me. Mom couldn't talk to me. She looks down at her hands, solid but somehow not. A chill runs through her as the truth hits her. I'm dead! I've been dead this whole time. Her cat, Oliver, jumps onto her lap, purring softly. She absent-mindedly strokes his fur, staring into the empty space before her. The TV flickers again. The news anchor still pleading for anyone to come forward with information. Sheri watches her own smiling face on the screen, a tear slipping down her cheek. What I didn't know was that I was already gone.